Much better than many performing South small finance banks over the last 1 year has been Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. It has more than doubled this year and is now trading at almost $60. Of course, the expansion plan, etc., asset quality, business momentum have been pretty good. So let's talk about all of that with Ittira Davis, MD and CEO of Ujjivan Small Finance, joining us on the show. Mr. Davis, afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. We understand that you're foraying into a new region of Andhra Pradesh. You've started a new branch at Vijayawada. Talk to us about the strategy of diversifying regionally, and are you looking at more branches in Andhra itself? Where does it take your overall branch count?
Good afternoon, Ajay. It's good to be with ET. Yes, Ujjivan has had a good expansion of branches during this financial year, and we will end this year with adding about over 100 branches, 105 to be precise. In Andhra, it's been a while. I mean, we didn't get into Andhra in the early days when we were a microfinance institution, but we have now decided that that's an area which we need to get into. So we have opened a branch at the end of November in Vijayawada. We'll be adding 2 more branches, one in Rajamundry and the other one in Visakhapatnam. And a little earlier this year, we also entered Telangana. So right as of now, we are all in all locations, all states in southern India. Across the country, we are in 26 states and union territories. We have crossed a tally of 700 branches, and we will end this financial year at a tally of about 725 branches.
By the end of the year. Hi, Mr. Davis. This is Anish also joining the conversation. I wanted to shift focus and talk to you about the overall asset quality situation, because 57% of your loan book comprises of micro group loans and 15% comes in from individual loans. With the latest RBI circular coming in, there is just a bit of worry and concern around the impact it will have on the asset quality as well as the margin profiles. What's your take as to what could be the impact for your company?
I think the asset quality, across the industry has improved post-COVID, and our numbers are showing that it has come down considerably from the highs of the COVID. We are down at 2.2 on the GNPA, which is a considerably good number. We, for Ujjivan, would like to see that number come down even further, especially in the microbanking area. Because microbanking was something pre-COVID, the numbers were as low as 1%, and the NNPA was even lower than that. So all in all, the forecast and the expectation, we will push towards a better number. But having said that, if there is some pressure in the market, if there is some buildup of stress in the market, that is something that we need to be cognizant about, and that is something that we need to watch. And that is the feedback we get from our branches. We are, as we said earlier, we are in 26 states. All our branches have, feedback to the regional and head offices about the credit quality. There may be pockets where there could be some stress, like the cyclone effects in Tamil Nadu recently, or some of the other pockets in other parts of the country. But by and large, the economy is still in good gear. There is good demand for credit, and we just have to ensure that the credit quality is maintained as guided by the Reserve Bank.
Any initial impact analysis that you have done of the recent cyclone and the damage it caused in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh?
Yeah, some of our branches in the Chennai area and around there have been slightly affected, but we are waiting. We have people on the ground already, and by the end of this week, we would expect a assessment about customers who have been affected. But what we will do is we will work with the other branches in the location there and see what needs to be done, as is always the case when there are such events across the country.
Mr. Davis, you have guided for about 25% growth as far as your loan book goes. I want to understand now that you're expanding regionally as well and business is looking good, what kind of loan book are we talking about, say, in 12-24 month period?
Yeah, I think by the end of this financial year, compared to the previous March 31st number, 25% is a good number to be looking at. And going forward, we would like to see, into the next financial year as well, similar sort of traction and similar growth numbers, so that and for us also, we are bringing on or increasing the secured loan book. Our housing loans are doing very well. In fact, they are the fastest growing segment for us this financial year. And next year, we are hoping that the MSME as well as our vehicle finance, which we have reconfigured and we have done some changes on the drawing board this year, will take off in the next financial year and will add to the secured loan portfolio, because we'd like to see the secured loan portfolio inch up next year, perhaps 2 or 3 percentage points higher than where it is today, and eventually get to a 40% secured, 60% unsecured by the end of next 3.5 years.
Loan mix is what you're aiming at, 40 secured, 60 unsecured. You earlier caveated one of Anisha's answer that if there is no signs of stress, then probably. Are you seeing any signs of stress in any part of your loan book segmentally, or the feedback which you're getting from ground, from branches, or not yet?
As of now, things look in order, but the RBI and the RBI especially has mentioned that they are feeling that there is some stress that needs to be controlled. So we are taking all the necessary measures and making sure that we stay on track. As of now, the situation is still very good, and we believe it will continue as long as we are prudent and make sure that the disbursements are in the right direction.
This is something which is needed, but Mr. Davis, I have to ask you about the status of the reverse merger, right? It was announced last year in October. There were still some approvals that were awaited. What's the latest status, and when do you expect it to get completed? This calendar year, or in a month, in a couple of months? Give me some timeline.
Yeah, the NCLT had a hearing on the 7th of December, and we are awaiting for the formal notification of what needs to be done. And another session of the NCLT is being slated for the 30th of January. So we are hoping that it will be concluded in this financial year in the fourth quarter. That is our current expectations.
Financial year in fourth quarter, perhaps somewhere around that 30th January timeline that you talked about in terms of the next hearing. But before I let you go, a quick word on the NIMS target as well, because NIMS had slipped below the mark of 9%. Where do you anticipate to end the year?
Yeah, the cost of funds issue is still very strong in the market. We have seen banks, even the bigger private sector banks, raising deposit interest rates yesterday, and some of them are looking at perhaps continuing, because there's this scramble for deposits. So I think we are still in a tight environment. We are still hoping that our net interest margin in the fourth quarter will tick back towards the 9%. But as of now, it has fallen below, and we are working on it. So yeah, overall, I think it's not going to fall from where it is today, but whether we can take it back to the 9% is something that we are working on. And it also depends upon what the other banks in the industry do. So we'll keep a close watch on that.
Okay, Mr. Davis, on that note, we'll let you go. Appreciate you making time and speaking with us. So that's the latest coming in from Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. Time now to slip into a very short break, but don't go anywhere.